Call the meeting to order. Everyone please rise for the invocation and the pledge led by Steve McQueen.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just ask tonight for your guidance, patience, and wisdom to go through this agenda as we, solve problems and make decisions on behalf of Adams County and our constituents. And we just pray that you would lead us, guide us with your hands to get through the agenda, and continue to pray for, all of the issues that face this board and the citizens of Adams County, and we'll continue to look to you for guidance in all those areas. I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask clerk to please call the roll.
John McCoy.
Here.
Tim Finley.
Here.
Robert Rich.
Here.
Brad Poulter.
Here.
David McCleary.
Here.
Les Post.
Here.
Teresa Bachhold.
Here.
Joe Zenger.
Here.
Brent Fisher.
Here.
Todd Dusterhouse.
Here.
Brett Austin.
Here.
Keith Calloway. Mark Sorensen. Barb Fletcher. Ray Heenkamper.
Here.
Dave Bellis.
Here.
Marvin Kirkhoff.
Here.
Mark Dietrich. Steve McQueen.
Here.
Travis Cooley.
Here.
Kent Snyder.
Here. 17 present, 4 absent. I declare a quorum. Let's do awards real quick first, and then we'll do public speaker if we have one.
All right.
Let's see. First, Mr. Deucehouse. Got it. I should know how to operate that. Todd's been on the board for 18 years, and we'll have a new person in his seat next month. And I wanted to give him this award. Oh, it came apart. I broke it already. Ryan probably dropped it. But it says, presented Adams County Board for 18 years. On behalf of the citizens, thank you for your dedication, public service to the citizens of Adams County. Thanks, Todd. Want to say anything?
It's been an honor and a privilege. Thank you, Adams County.
Thank you, sir. So actually, Mike, since Mike's here, he can verify. I ran for the county board in 2002. Got on, I think I was on for 2 years. I didn't campaign, and I lost the election to Todd Dusterhouse. Hey. That wasn't a good thing. But I got back on, didn't I, Todd? And next, Georgine. She's not going to cry. Oh. What's that?
Don't break
This thing is all. I broke Todd's. No, Ryan broke it, then he put it back in the box. Yeah. Georgine has been an employee at Adams County for 51 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's an easy gig. We're all easy to get along with. Taxpayers never complain about their taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it was, I mean, she's done a great job. She's a low maintenance office, low maintenance employee. She just does her thing every day, and she's done a wonderful job. And We owe her a great deal of gratitude.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if you could.
So, and Mike can tell you, when you're sitting up there, this thing, it looks like it's pretty easy and pretty organized. Sometimes I have to watch it on TV because it doesn't feel real organized. But there's two people that keep it running, and it's not me. It's the guy on my right and the guy on my left. So Ryan Niekamp, in recognition of your service and commitment to Adams County Board, I have to give you an award for keeping us on track.
We'll let the record show that the chairman did surprise me.
That I did what?
You surprised me.
I know. That's tough to do.
All right, we have a couple more though to do. Paul?
No.
There we go. Talking to the VAC Delegate Board, we wanted to make sure Chairman Snyder was recognized for his support. You'll get a report on our organization later, but we have seen over 304 veterans as of today. So we wanted to recognize Kent. I'm sure he's going to have to build a new office for all the plaques and awards he's gotten from all the service he's done. But if you indulge me to let me read this, I would appreciate it. It says, in recognition of your service to the veterans of Adams County, Illinois, we express our heartfelt appreciation for your unwavering support of the Veterans Assistance Commission of Adams County. Your hard work, support, and get-it-done attitude was instrumental in establishing this vital support organization for the veterans of Adams County. The Veterans Assistance Commission is a lasting, much-needed, and impactful benefit to our veterans and our country, and will be for many years to come. On behalf of all Adams County veterans, we congratulate you on your retirement from the Adams County Board, and we thank you for your service, your vision, your support, and for your guidance.
Thank you very much. For the record, this is one of the most amazing things we've done, and a very amazing person that chose to lead it. He's done a wonderful job for us, made us all proud, and this is what it's all about. It's not the plaques, it's that guy and taking care of our veterans.
It's hefty. Hope I don't break this one.
I hope it's alcohol.
No, it might be.
Oh,
Looks like a bottle of Johnny Walker Blue to me.
oh no,
So,
happy.
this has been a long time coming, and we've had a great run here with Kent being our chairman. 21 years and 11 months total. Yeah. Did you know that?
No, I lost count.
Yeah. Well, you're getting older. You can't remember those things. So, to our chairman, R. Kent Snyder, Adams County Board Chairman, December 1st, 2018 to November 30th, 2024. A good run. 6 years as chairman, 21 years plus on the board. Been a great mentor to me, and I really appreciate you. And I think that you've done a great job being our chairman and guiding us and bringing us together and making sure that we work for the common good of Adams County. I really appreciate you, and I know that the board appreciates you too. So here you go, this award.
Thanks. Thank you. You knew this was going to happen. Thank you all. The stuff we do here is not me. It's all of us. So thank you. All right, enough of that. Entertain a motion to suspend the rules for a speaker. Motion by Mr. Austin. Second by Mr. Bellis. All in favor? Opposed? Have suspended the rules. We have speaker, Mr. McLaughlin. Mike, you have 3 minutes.
I have 3 minutes.
That's right. I don't care if you have been the past chairman, you get 3 minutes.
Start the clock.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be here tonight. I've been through this before as well. I think you actually took over after I left, didn't you?
Les did.
Or Les
And then I
did
took
for a
over,
little bit,
yeah.
and then you. But I had you by a few years anyway. So,
Yeah.
but Georgine, congratulations. That's outstanding. When I figured out she had more years than I did, I left after 25. So I knew there was no way I could beat her. But I'd like to have Mr. Bellis come down here, and then Ken, if you would also come back down here. Yeah. My wife is cleaning my basement out, and she told me I needed to get rid of some stuff, and I ran across this, and this goes back quite a few years, and I think everybody will enjoy this. But this goes back to when it was one of the 10 years when everybody's up and you all run together. So the 3 of us were all in District 3. That actually shows our families and what we used to look like 20 plus years ago. So I just wanted I'm going to pass that on to you, Kent, and then when you're done, maybe you can give it back to Dave. But congratulations. I know how much work it is. I know how much work you all do as well, and the public appreciates that, and thank you for your service. Thank you.
Yeah, I learned a lot from Mike, and because he was chairman for 14 years, and Les, and so it's it's nice to have him here on my last night. That's pretty cool. Entertain a motion to go back into regular session. Motion by Bellis, second by Mr. McQueen. All in favor? Opposed? Entertain a motion to approve minutes.
Motion to approve minutes as printed.
Motion by Mr. Dusterhouse. Second by Mr. Zanger. All in favor? Opposed? Minutes are approved. Transportation, Building and Technology, Mr. Bellis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Your committee met tonight at 6 o'clock in the law library. We looked at the bills. They seem to be in order. We had reports from Highway Department, IT, and maintenance. We had a discussion on new business about possible action at 48th and State, and decided to table it for a month to spend a little more time on it. We were kind of pinched for time tonight, and we don't want to rush that through. Courthouse HVAC, we should, engineers are working on it. We should have a proposal for a system and rough pricing next month. And the courtrooms are all complete. They've been remediated, so that's a good thing. And the EFS on the north side, they're hoping to be finished. They're almost done, but they should be done by next month's meeting. And we're giving them, it'll take them a couple weeks to get done and cleaned up, but we'll have hopefully finished by next month with weather permitting. And just another new business, which is actually old business. Mr. McLaughlin's here tonight. Just a quick story about how I used to live across the street from Mike on East Avenue there. And one day I was mowing my yard. He come across the street. This is how I got involved in this. He goes, "Hey, Dave, we're looking for somebody to run on the county board." I said, "Oh, yeah, what's that?" I knew the city alderman and stuff, but I had no idea what he's talking about. So I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." Put my name on the ballot, and in the primary, I think I beat him by 2 votes, but he beat me in the general. But anyway, we all 3 won. But that was a fun deal, and I appreciate every vote that I've gotten and all the people I've got to meet, and you too, Kent, and everybody here. Appreciate every one of you. Anyway, our next meeting will be December 10th, I believe it is, at 6 o'clock in the law library.
Thank you, Mr. Bellis, so we know we can blame Mr. McLaughlin for you being here. Legislative and Judicial, Mr. Rich.
Mr. Chairman, the committee met this evening at 5:45, reviewed bills to the Circuit Clerk, Juvenile Detention Center, Probation Department, Public Defender, State's Attorney, and Supervisor Assessments. All the bills are in order. As we went through, we had a couple things on our agenda. One is, and we'll take it up next month on the resolution and ordinances, rules of the board visitors. We're going to modify that just a little, still keep it within Open Meetings Act, et cetera. So it'll be in next month's packet, but just about 2 sentences is all we're doing, and adding committee to a couple of the sentences there. So review that. We'll vote on that next month. As far as action items, if there's no liquor licenses, no appointments, if the clerk would read A on pyrotechnic displays.
Pyrotechnic display request for Point Divine LLC for Saturday, November 23rd, 2024 at 7 p.m. with no alternative date provided.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rich, second by Mr. Kirkhoff. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
The only other thing on our agenda is we decided to move our meeting time from 5:45 to 6 p.m. and that we seem to be able to cover our business within about a half an hour. So unless that changes, our next meeting will be December 10th in the boardroom at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rich. Public Health and Safety.
I met with myself tonight at
Did you get in an argument?
5:30 in the ROE conference room. Obviously, no quorum. Did go ahead and review the bills. Everything seemed to be in order there and turned those in. Also took reports from the VAC, the Veterans Assistance Commission. They currently are at 304 clients served. They have secured $500,000 in new benefits for that organization, and they're in the process of hiring their third veteran service officer. Also took a report from Director Simon related to the emergency management and ambulance. They're at 824 calls, up from September, which was at 755, and they expect to see a considerably higher response rate for this year based on what they saw in 2023. They're also currently working on some opioid funds to allow for additional support to address substance abuse and mental health, as that a lot of kind of repeat calls related there. So they're working on that. Other than that, we'll meet December 10th at 5:30 p.m. in the ROE conference room, and hopefully I'll have a team next month. So.
If not, we'll have to make you chairman and vice chair. And,
Well, I am tonight by default, right?
Thank you, Mr. McQueen. No executive committee finance, Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met yesterday here in the 6 o'clock in the county boardroom. We reviewed all the bills. All those seem to be in order and were approved. We didn't have any other reports. I would like to skip over the A1 and then have the clerk read B, please.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, resolution number 2024-11-001-037, resolution adopting the number for the approval of the retention of Whiffley CPAs and consultants as the Adams County Circuit Clerk auditors for the auditing services for fiscal year ending on November 30th, 2024.
Motion to approve. Hang on a second. Fiscal year 24,
It'd be this
25.
current. Nope, it's this current year.
Oh, okay. All right. Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Austin.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cooley. Discussion?
We've had Whipley be our auditors for quite some time now. We did have an increase last year that was pretty significant in our auditing. They have the same price this year as they did last year, but we're going to get through our year this year and then work with Whipley. We do need all of our department heads. This is very important into the pricing that we get all of our information in on time. So Ryan's going to be kind of the gatekeeper of that, and we're going to push on that. That happens over the next few months. We're spending about $82,000 total in our auditing. We have had some additional expenses because we've added the VAC and we've added federal inmates. So we have some different auditing procedures related to that. But they are in line with last year's fees. So the Finance Committee voted unanimously to approve the contract. And then next year we'll look at whether we need to bid this out again.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then we'll go through the additional fund appropriations. If the clerk could read these and take a glass of water in the middle of them, I'm sure.
All right, ready?
Yep.
A, additional fund appropriation from Jared Welch, Director of Public Health, in the amount of $2,500 for expense account 0601601510 salary administration for revised budget amount $373,401, and $11,500 for expense account number 601601520 salary community something for a revised budget amount of $785,577 and $34,000 for expense account number 601601530 insurance medical for revised budget amount $439,000 and $300 for expense account number 601601530 insurance life for revised budget amount of $1,800. Item B is additional fund appropriation for Mr. Welch, Director of Public Health, in the amount of $5,200 for expense account number 601601550 maintenance equipment for revised budget amount of $25,200 and $3,000 for expense account number 60160155546 postage for revised budget amount of $11,000 and $5,500 for expense account number 60160155563 printing for revised budget amount of $20,500. And $1,500 for expense account number 60160155589 utilities water for revised budget amount of $9,000. Item C, additional fund appropriation for Mr. Welch, Director of Public Health, in the amount of $2,000 for expense account number 60160155610 lab expense for revised budget amount of $8,000 and $89,000 for expense account number 60160155635 public health expense for revised budget amount of $289,000 and $307,000 for expense account number 60160155640 nursing expenses for revised budget amount of $957,000 and $34,000 for expense account number 60160155645 maternal child health expenses for revised budget amount of $59,000. Item D, additional fund appropriation for Mr. Welch, Director of Public Health, in the amount of $1,500 for expense account number 60160155657. Stationery and supplies for revised budget amount of $7,500 and $1,000 for expense account number 60160155736. Travel clinical services for revised budget amount of $6,000 and $2,000 for expense account number 601-601-5835, equipment and furniture for revised budget amount of $12,000. Item E, additional fund appropriation for Mr. Welch, Director of Public Health, in the amount of $10,000 for revenue account number 601-601-4120, fees and environmental for revised budget amount of $160,000 and $70,000 for revenue account number 601-601-4155, interest earned for revised budget amount of $120,000, and $262,000 for revenue account number 601-601-4250, revenue immunizations for revised budget amount $916,000 and $500 for revenue account number 601-601-4260, fees, screening fees for revised budget amount of $600. Item F, additional fund appropriation from Mr. Welch, Director of Public Health, in the amount of $50,000 for revenue account number 601-601-4295. Revenue miscellaneous county health, in the amount of $150,000 and $8,000 for revenue account number 601-601-4625. Grants, vision, and hearing for revised budget amount of $42,000 and $1,500 for revenue account number 601-601-4626. Grants, VFC compliance for revised budget amount of $11,500 and $14,000 for revenue account number 601-601-4760, grants family case management for revised budget amount of $203,000. Item G is additional fund appropriation from Mr. Welch, Director of Public Health, in the amount of $283,000 for revenue account number 601-601-4795, grants other for revised budget amount of $858,000.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Austin,
Second.
second by Mr. Finley. Discussion.
So normally we wouldn't go through this encyclopedia of resolutions, but here's what happened in a nutshell. Nursing has been increased dramatically in the public health department. Dental program has been taken over by SIU and will be radically decreased in the public health department. The grants involved in this were in total $400,000 to $500,000, and immunization revenue that we've been doing because we brought in more immunization programs has increased. So there's about a $900,000 swing in all of this. And the reason we did all of this was because that the change to nursing and the change to dental is pretty permanent, barring any changes here, in the next couple of years. So realigning these, normally we say that if you stay in your budget lane, we don't need to do all this. Take heed, department heads, for that. But this was outside the budget lane because so many things changed here at once. So I appreciate the clerk reading that. All totaled, know that this is budget neutral or using funds that are already in the accounts. But it was a significant change because of some programming change in the health department.
Any questions? Roll call vote.
John McCoy,
Yes.
Tim Finley,
Yes.
Robert Rich,
Yes.
Brad Poulter,
Yes.
David McCleary,
Yes.
Les Post,
Yes.
Teresa Bachold,
Yes.
Joe Zinger,
Yes.
Brent Fisher,
Yes.
Todd Dusterhouse,
Yes.
Brett Austin,
Yes.
Keith Calloway, Mark Sorensen, Bart Fletcher, Ray Hincamper,
Aye.
Dave Bellis,
Yes.
Marvin Kirkhoff,
Yes.
Mark Dietrich, Steve McQueen,
Yes.
Travis Cooley,
Yes.
Ken Snyder.
Yes. 17 in favor, 4 absent. The fund appropriation are approved.
Okay, next we'll get to the big ticket item here. If the Wizard of Oz behind the wall could put up my screen, please. There we go. Technology, gotta love it. Okay, so what you're seeing here is a summary of the both the revenue and the expenditures of the Adams County 2024-2025 budget. So in very simple terms, 58 million just over of revenues, 63 million or just shy of 64 million of expenditures, a difference of almost $6 million. I've been asked this question quite a bit, so let me try to explain it in the clearest way I can. The revenues are immediate. Those are things that we're bringing in day to day through this next year. Expenditures are also immediate, but that is a total that includes over $5 million of carryover money that we have in the bank, or things that we don't get any more revenue for, but we're going to expend here quickly. An example would be down the line here. I know this is a little bit hard to see, but an example would be down the line here where the cursor is, that we have $2.365 million in ARPA funds that we're going to budget whatever the maximum is that we have left every year, so that if those projects finish, we can just expend it and be done with it. And you can see that we're only bringing in about $100,000, which is not new ARPA money. That's just actually interest money. So that gives you a kind of a guideline of why we were asked several times and even had discussion in our finance meeting. This is not a deficit budget. The actual increase is $2.2 million in revenue and about $2.2 million in expenses in ratio. It's this number over here that's the net difference, which is all of these other funds at the end of the budget, which again are funds that are already in the bank, carried over from last year, or things that we know that are going to be grants expended in this year that we didn't get, or expended in this year that we got revenue for last year, which we had a major grant in the emergency management area of like $900,000, which is still getting spent down. We've got ARPA money. We've got highway projects that we're doing. So in future years, you'll see up here in the, this is the first year of ClearGov. In future years, you're going to see this capital budget. There's nothing in it right now. But what this is going to be is that differential. That's where the big ticket items are going to be. We're going to have a personnel budget, which involves everything in salary. And then we're going to have an operational budget, which involves everything in this day-to-day world that we live in. So for right now, we've still got this kind of commingled thing. From a very high-level view, we have $13 million in our commingled accounts, which cover our day-to-day operations in reserve. And we have about $19 million in special use funds that are in reserve that are restricted funds, which those get into the ARPA funds, MFT, motor fuel tax funds. So on a high level view, the county is in a very strong financial position. We are not raising expenses over revenue this year. That's actually flat. And we're looking at about a 4.05% increase in revenues, which that involves all the tax line items, salaries, everything that we do day to day. So we're under that 5% truth in taxation level. And then also you can see that we're actually raising expenses about 3.56% over last year, given that this $5 million of some money is carryover from year to year, or again, expenses of money that we already have in the bank. So all totaled, we expect to have about $58 million in revenue. We have $13 million in the bank behind that in unrestricted funds, and we have about $19 million in restricted funds, which we definitely need to keep working on and finding uses for. And against that, we have about $63 million of expenses. So we actually will be almost treading water through this next year. And given that the EAV, Georgine, right, is somewhere around 7%, around, barring any big. Okay, all right, we'll get a definite thing for that before she gets her 52nd year anniversary at the county. We'll have that number, but it'll be north of this 4% for sure, which actually means the tax levy rate will go down. But let's be clear about that. We are asking for 4% more money from the constituents of Adams County, but the rate will decrease because the EAV is above that. So that's how those two things work in ratio. We're in a very strong position financially in the county. One thing that we do need to work on is this, and I put this in the email I sent to all of you, a summary email, is this line item right here, which is $1.4 million in the red right now, and well, will be at the end of this year. It's $1 million in the red right now. It's not that it's in the red in the sense that we're bouncing checks or anything like that, or that we can't afford to pay our bills, because it's in a commingled account with $13 million. But this is the county general line that I keep talking about, that we have a tax rate cap on this. We actually need to tax more appropriately in this line and stop carrying over large sums of money in other lines, which involve Social Security, IMRF, liability insurance. The ambulance department has a good balance. The health department has a good balance, but we need to be more direct in our taxation, and this keeps coming up in our audits. So this is a number that we need to work to get down, and even on top of that, build reserves in the county general. One of the things that we're going to have to take up in this next year is to legally, by statute, I guess, if you would say, or local ordinance, however that works out, state, local level, is probably eliminate a tax cap rate on our county general. It's kind of an antiquated way of looking at it, and I did some research throughout Illinois, and many counties have done this. What's happened is we have so many other special use funds that they get their own money that we don't need to specifically cap that rate. That was a needed maybe at the time, but older way of basically saying a truth in taxation thing, like don't raise your county general rate without going to the constituents. But we have so many checks and balances in other areas and restricted funds that that's not really the equation anymore. So we have a 0.27 tax cap rate at that right now. We basically either need to raise that or eliminate that and tax where we need county general. Barring that, if we don't want to do that, then we need to start transferring money from other funds that have balances in it. And that becomes a little bit problematic because it's kind of confusing to do that throughout the budget. So ClearGov played its role here. This is our first year using it. Next year, we're going to expand into having a capital and personnel budgeting where we can forecast better, especially with capital programming. And then this, in the operational budget, will be more apples to apples. And what you see here is the difference will start to filter into this capital budget because mainly that's what that capital budget is. And also, don't forget, within the next year and a half to 2 years, we're going to be out of the ARPA money. So this difference right here would be over $2 million less right now. It's great that we got that money, but it did kind of play a little bit with our numbers in the sense of what we're expending versus what we're bringing in. So also, I just want to thank every department head for feeding in their numbers. Pretty much everybody was on time. We had 2 departments that were maybe Monday or Tuesday after the Friday we asked it to be in. The software did what it said it was going to do. We had good discussions at the finance committee. We unanimously approved this budget to go forward. But I would take any questions that you had if you saw anything specific.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment. Just looking at this from the outside and being here a couple of years, this was pretty fantastic way to view things. So I appreciate taking the initiative to get ClearGov on board and finding out about that and championing I can't say the word that.
Yeah, it's a valuable tool, and we've only scratched the surface on it. There's lots more bells and whistles. Eventually, we're going to get to this item right here, the 4th one down, which is a digital budget book, which actually provides a narrative to how the budget and the county is progressing in their finances. So we'll get there by next year.
We need a motion.
Yeah, just any other questions?
Make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 county budget.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Finley, second by Mr. Cooley. Any other discussion?
Could I read it just so it's on record?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ordinance number 2024-11-001-036, ordinance adopting the Adams County budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 to begin on December 1st, 2024, ending on November 30th, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call vote.
John McCoy,
Yes.
Tim Finley,
Yes.
Robert Rich,
Yes.
Brad Poulter,
Yes.
David McCleary,
Yes.
Les Post,
Yes.
Teresa Bachhold,
Yes.
Joe Zinger,
Yes.
Brent Fisher,
Yes.
Todd Dusterhouse,
Yes.
Brett Austin,
Yes.
Keith Calloway, Mark Sorensen, Barbara Fletcher, Raheem Camper,
Hi.
Dave Bellis,
Yes.
Marvin Kirkhoff,
Yes.
Mark Dietrich, Steve McQueen,
Yes.
Travis Cooley,
Yes.
Kent Snyder.
Yes.
17 in favor, 4 absent.
17 in favor, 4 absent. Resolution's approved.
Item B here that you see, I was taught by some people in this room and some that aren't, but there was an old saying that if you bought the budget, you bought the levy, right? Mike?
He passed
Kent?
away.
All right. So if you bought the budget, you bought the levy. Here comes the discussion of that, though. Asking, like I put an aside there to Georgine, there are some disputes that happen. There are some things that happen in the EAV, just so we all understand that. They're percentages of a percentage, unless we get a really bad one. But Georgine has done a good job of mitigating those, and that's why we even increased a little bit of money that we spend in getting appraisals and looking through those things and being fair. So if the EAV changes a little bit, it can change the tax levy items that we can and cannot tax for. incrementally, not a lot. So just be aware that there could be coming back around to this in a couple of, not the whole budget, not what we're spending day to day, not office supplies, not all that, but what we tax to the constituents of Adams County can change micro in the percentages of that. So we will have to come back to that. We do suspend this meeting. We come back, or we did suspend the September meeting. We do come back to this and we talk about the levy. The levy and the budget are two different items. It's what you desire to spend and then what you and how you are going to levy against that to get those revenues. So we might have slight tweaks in that. And if we do, we will highlight those things. The finance committee will publish those again through the county clerk's office on the website, and whatever we do that will micro change those. But we have a very close approximation here. I wouldn't imagine that it changes by more than a percentage point either way. So just know that that's out there. There's new members coming on the county board here soon. There's members that have been through this maybe once, but not twice. So that's kind of how this works and the mechanics of that. So next meeting, we will vote on the levy, and you will see those specific levy items involved in that. And we'll have a certification of that through the county clerk. So we're close. It's kind of like shooting at the bullseye, but the bullseye is still moving a little bit. But we're very close, and I think we have a good estimation of what's going on with that. So are there any questions about how that works? Okay, last item, health insurance. I wanted to specifically address that because we had some large changes in health insurance lately. We did have a lower than average increase in health insurance. We were at about 11%. Industry standard out there, Tim, we were talking about this 15% plus probably.
15% is not unusual.
Yeah. So we mitigated that somewhat backwards, and what we're going to show front facing to the employees is about a 4% increase. That's a pretty good result for the employees and a pretty good result for us. We are working with some new plan components. And actually, I think tomorrow is the open house. Amy, back in the corner. Tomorrow, right? Benefit fair for all of our employees. So employees, including department heads, you're involved in that too. You need to be there and you have to actively participate. This isn't just a rollover thing. You have to actively participate in your choices. So make sure that you participate. You have from November 13th to November 30th, correct? All right, and so actively participate in that. One of the biggest changes is that we're offering a high deductible plan. I think the normal deductible in the plan, the PPO plan, is $1,400. I think the deductible in that is $3,300, $3,500. Okay, so what that allows is that employees can use a high deductible plan. This is the first time we've really offered this globally, and you can develop a health savings account. And somewhere in the neighborhood of, instead of paying $100 a month, you'll pay $30 a month, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then you can use that money to build your own health savings account. So we're giving our employees and all staff more choices, but it comes with some education. So please, please, please go to the health fair. Please ask our county board office about health insurance. It's one of the most important things, second only to compensation. Of what you're here for. I mean, I hope that you all want to do a great job for the county, but let's face it, you're also here to work and get paid and have good benefits. So please investigate those, educate yourselves, use the county board office. We published a book about that. So I wanted to bring that up specifically because I know there's going to be discussion about those changes. So does anyone have any questions about that? I appreciate our county board office working so hard on that, and also the agents that we deal with. And we had a pretty good result this year, honestly, in negotiation of that. So I appreciate that. I don't have any further business for the Finance Committee, and we will meet December 9th at 6 o'clock in the county boardroom. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Austin. New business.
No travel vouchers. We do have monthly reports from the Supervisor of Assessments Board Review, Juvenile Detention Center, the County Clerk and Recorder's Office, the Public Defender, the Circuit Clerk, Information Technology and Probation Department, monthly check register for October 2024, and fund summary report for October 2024, including revenue and expenses.
Motion to receive, file, and forward.
Motion by Mr. Deusterhouse.
Second.
Second by Mr. Zanger. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So ordered. resignation.
I have a letter of resignation from Georgine Zimmerman. Reads, this is a notification on the intent of my retirement on December 31st of this year. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve the people of Adams County for 51 plus years in the office of Supervisor of Assessment, but it's time to leave for the position and focus on other interests. I'm very proud of my office and my staff, and I'll do everything in my power to make this a smooth transition before and after leaving. Sincerely, Georgine Zimmerman.
Motion to deny.
Nice try. I don't think that's going to work. To entertain a motion to accept her resignation.
Motion to accept her resignation reluctantly.
Mr. Austin, second by Mr. Bellis. All in favor? Opposed? Me. Thank you, Georgine, and thanks for not crying. Yeah, thanks. Correspondence.
Notice of preliminary permit application from the United States of America's Federal Energy Regulatory Commission regarding a low head hydro M21 LLC.
Motion to receive, file, and forward.
Motion by Mr. Dushouse,
Second.
second by Mr. Zanger. All in favor? Opposed? So ordered. Last but not least, there is no executive session. I want to thank Mr. Austin for being by my side, Mr. McLaughlin, and Mr. Post for teaching me how to sit in the big chair. And I will bronze the phone book that I'm sitting on. Please don't give up on me on the 48th Street. That's very important for the safety of those children, those kids for John Wood. It means a lot to the community, it means a lot to me. And don't give up on me on the SRO program. I know it's in the budget and Tony's working on it and we will get it done, but we need an officer in every school in Adams County. We owe it to our children. And last but not least, I appreciate my wife and family for being here. It took me 20 years to get my wife to come to a meeting. and I had to quit to do it. So with all that, next board meeting will be December 10th, 2024. Thank you all.
Could the county board stay where they are so Kent can get a picture with you guys?